Hi guys, I just wanted to walk you through paragraph 9 to the Magician paper. Okay, it is a brilliant paper. It's very funny. It lends itself well to the writer's effect question. But I think in terms of understanding what the writer is actually trying to achieve for this paragraph in particular, may prove quite challenging for some students. Okay, let's recap. Let's read the paragraph that we are directed to. I've got the paragraph on its own, so I've got lots of room to annotate the different images. Time to eat, came the sudden call of his mother. Thomas's mouth opened in dismay. But I've not finished. His howl was interrupted as the controller slipped from his hands and fell, clattering heavily to the ground. It skidded across the polished wooden floor and came to a sharp, juddering halt against the wall, before neatly cracking open. Red and yellow control buttons performed small cartwheels, and two small batteries escaped their case. A joystick mischievously popped its head out of its base, shoulders heaving as if in barely controlled sniggering at the spectacle. Okay, where do we start with this? First of all, it's so important, I keep saying this, we must get the overall effect correct. Okay, the focus really is not on Thomas, but on his controller and the movements and the damage that is caused as a result of Thomas dropping it. We've got these really exaggerated, really hyperbolic images throughout, almost theatrical, and hopefully you've been able to pick up on some of those. A suitable overall effect, I guess. I'm just going to write it at the bottom. So if I was to write a response to this question, which is the second bullet point, B, I may start my paragraph with this topic sentence. The overall effect of I'm just going to put Lang, creates an image of the controller dramatically falling in an almost humorous and theatrical way. Okay. The overall effect of the language creates an image of the controller dramatically falling in an almost humorous and theatrical way. This, I believe, is what the writer is focusing on. So be very careful in terms of what you analyze. This information about his mother and Thomas, it doesn't necessarily relate to this. Everything we highlight, everything we explore, it must link to the overall effect of the language. I'm going to analyze all of the powerful words and images in this paragraph, and then you guys can see if you have anything similar. You may wish to annotate this section along with me and this video. So, the first part we learn about the controller is, I guess, the fact that it clatters heavily. Now, clattering heavily, in terms of our, I guess, subject terminology, we can explore the auditory imagery of the verb Clattering. We can refer to that as onomatopoeia. We can refer to it as a powerful verb. That's up, that's up to you. What is important is your analysis. What can you infer from this phrase? Clattering heavily hopefully suggests that this remote control, the chances are slim in terms of its survival. Okay? It also creates an impact of the it also creates an impact in terms of the controller falling to the ground. We fully anticipate it's probably not going to survive. Now, the next thing I picked up on is this verb skidded. Now you need to think about what that implies. If you were to skid on the ground, what would that suggest, or what position would you be in? Okay, you wouldn't be in control, for example. Okay, you're likely to head into some sort of danger. Maybe you're likely to hurt yourself. Okay, so you've got this very dynamic verb skidded. This creates a sense of speed, and of course it creates an image of the controller being out of control. Okay, we fully anticipate that the damage will indeed be significant. Now, the next thing I want to draw your attention to is the fact that it comes to a sharp, juddering halt. Again, this is kind of, in a way, emphasizing the speed, the fact that it comes to such a sharp halt. Okay? I guess the verb juddering, okay, it creates an image of the controller shaking in many ways. It's almost as if the controller is trying to recover from skidding and going at such a high speed. Okay, again, the impact of the fall, the damage is very much the focus here. Then we've got this quite unusual image here, and I'm sure it stands out to most of you. So the controller lands at the wall and then it neatly cracks open. If you think of that verb crack, does it not make you think of a fragile egg? An actual egg cracking. Okay? Maybe the emphasis here is on the fragility of the remote control. And I keep saying remote control, I do apologise. Maybe the fragility of the remote. And maybe there will be images being evoked of the contents spilling out. So the damage is, in many ways, is irreversible. So the next thing I want to draw your attention to is the fact that this joystick mischievously popped its head out of its base. Quite clearly, the writer is using personification there. Excuse my handwriting there. Personification is being used throughout, arguably, but this adverb, mischievously, okay? When you think of someone who is perhaps acting in a mischievous way, you might think of young children. Okay, young children doing something they're not supposed to. So in a way, the writer's use of personification, it's almost as if the joystick is rebelling. Okay, it's doing something it's not supposed to. It wants to be, in many ways, a part of the action. Okay, so it's it wants to see what the drama, all of the commotion, what it's all about. And then we've got, I guess that in many ways that idea is strengthened because we have this last image of it being barely it's sniggering, being barely controlled. Hopefully, when you think of the verb sniggering, it's a very sort of childlike image again, almost in many ways playfully cheeky. Again, this idea that the joystick is trying to rebel. The last image I want to look at is this idea that small batteries escaped their case. Okay, that verb escape, this sense of, I'll just put it up here, this sense of being free, okay? Being free from the previous restrictions that they had. This sense of, I guess, again, being able to rebel. There you have it, guys. I do apologise. I did say to myself I wanted this video to be under 10 minutes, but as you can see, there are lots of powerful words, lots of powerful images, and everything I have annotated links to this overall effect, and that is a must, okay? As ever, if you have any questions, please do leave them below. Thanks.